Separation feels like an emotional endurance test. Add to that the very real risk of divorce, and you will spend all of your time overthinking. What you really need is a plan with a step-by-step approach. Then you can focus on what matters most. If I asked your wife if she loved you, she would probably tell me that she loves you, but that she is not in love with you. Regardless of what has gone on in your marriage up to this point, her feelings are the main obstacle to your getting her back. Because she does not know how to turn those feelings back on, she will not believe that anything you can say or do could change that. Apologizing and convincing won't change the way she feels about you, and that's why they don't work. There is something that does work. You need to work on switching on that in-love feeling again. I know that's something you can do because I help men do that every day. If you are like the men that I work with, you probably did all the wrong things at first. You begged and pleaded with her to change her mind, to give you another chance. You argued with her, and when she didn't give in, you got mad at her or got depressed. Your actions were geared toward convincing her to give you another chance, but instead they just pushed her further away. The convincing approach to reconciling makes you unattractive, makes her defensive, is evidence to her that you care more about yourself than her, angers her because you didn't care sooner, helps to convince her she is right to separate, and increases her desire for space. Actions that actually build relationships increase the desire to be together, not to get space. You must stop doing anything that makes her want to get space, as you can end up in a no-contact situation. There is no way to build a relationship without contact. When your wife told you she wanted to separate, it came as a surprise, didn't it? But for her, it was just one of the last steps of a long process. Women don't decide to leave quickly. For a long time, maybe even years, your wife wanted to be attracted to you, but something was missing for her in your marriage. It was a very painful time for her. She struggled either to improve her marriage with you or to be patient. And she did that until her love ran out. For a while, she was depressed when she felt stuck. But as she began to anticipate leaving you and making a fresh start, she became more positive and hopeful. Because she complained less, it probably seemed to you like your marriage was going along pretty well. She may have even continued to have sex with you. You thought she was loving you, while what she was doing was verifying that her love for you was gone. Many men feel confused when their wives separate because of this apparent mismatch between how she was behaving and what she wants now. Your situation may have been a little different from this because there are a few other major reasons why women separate, but fortunately, they all require similar responses. While convincing will push her away, empathy will help you start to connect. Empathy is not the same as understanding. Empathy creates a feeling of similarity that understanding doesn't. When you say, "I understand why you such and such," you don't create a feeling of similarity, so it won't connect you. We can only connect by being similar. Saying, "I understand why you wanted a separation," in no way makes her feel like she is similar to you. In fact, it emphasizes the difference between you. I ask men to stop saying, "I understand," for this very reason. It is invalidating. Empathy sounds more like, "Things weren't good between us. Something had to be done." Or, "The last thing I want is for us to continue in a bad relationship." Notice that you don't have to lie and say things like you are glad you separated or things like that. Insincere agreement or insincere empathy would only hurt your connection. The initial empathy isn't enough to immediately make her want to reconcile, but it is a necessary place to start. I help my clients to create individual empathy messages, but here is an example. "Rosa, when you first said you wanted to separate, I was surprised and a little afraid too. But what I've come to realize is that it wouldn't have been good for either of us to just keep going as we were. Something had to be done. Be sure when you empathize like this not to try to problem solve or create next steps. Just leave off with the empathy message. Although she might not show much reaction to what you say, she will think about it repeatedly. You never have to tell a woman to think about what you've said. Resistance is how you feel with a pushy salesman. It is the crossed arms rather than the nodding head. Resistance may make you feel like doubling down when what you really need to do is step back. Your wife's resistance is a reaction to your behavior and her perception that you want or feel something different from what she does. Just one resistance-causing behavior is enough to prevent reconciling. The 6 biggest resistance-causing behaviors fit the acronym RESIST, R-E-S-I-S-T. Memorizing them will help you to avoid getting resistance from your wife. These are the very same behaviors that cause many men to do poorly with women when they are single. Here they are. R. Remaining neutral or negative instead of relaxed and friendly. E. Expressing disagreement instead of validating her. S. Stepping too fast or skipping relationship steps. I. Inconsistent behavior which sends mixed messages. S. Staying unattractive instead of working to be more desirable. And T. Too much interaction which prevents her feelings for you from growing. Some men have the wrong idea about reconciling. They think that first they have to convince their wives to reconcile and then they work on building the relationship together. That approach actually leads to divorce, not to reconciling. Instead, we need to build our relationships with good interactions and by being desirable. That naturally leads in the direction of reconciling without causing resistance. I often ask my male clients when the best time to ask a woman to marry is. Do you know? When is the best time to ask a woman to marry you? The answer is when you are sure she wants to. Otherwise, you will get rejected. And it's the same for reconciling. You have to create the desire to reconcile before ever talking about it. Having helped her to feel more similar and more comfortable with you, you have set the stage for using relationship building small interactions. Small interactions build relationships more naturally and are easier to manage than trying to get her to go on dates. Like getting married, don't ask her on a date until you're sure she wants to go on one. Don't get ahead of her emotionally. Your small interactions will be relaxed, friendly, and validating. You will be helping her to anticipate positive feelings every time she interacts with you. You will be helping her to anticipate the next time she does, as long as you are not contacting her too often. Building her feelings, even if she still intends to leave you, puts you on the path to reconciliation. Don't worry about your wife's plans. It is her feelings that will ultimately determine her behavior. While building your relationship, your wife may say that you can be friends, but no more. That's a good sign because becoming friends is an important step toward a deeper relationship. However, you have to be careful about being friend-zoned. You get friend-zoned when you tell her that her happiness is all that matters. You listen to her about dating other men. You agree that if you were divorced, you would always be friends. Or you are always available. If your wife feels like she could never lose you, she can't fall in love with you. Let me say that again. If your wife feels like she could never lose you, then she can't fall in love with you. Unconditional acceptance and constant availability will sabotage your attempts to reconcile. When your wife starts to have renewed interest in you, she will begin to doubt her decision to separate from you or divorce you. This creates terrible tension and anger inside her. She will then treat you badly and try to provoke you. Why is that? It's because she wants to feel good about her exit plans. If she can provoke you into behaving like your old self, it will reassure her that she is indeed on the right path. She can again feel good about leaving you. This is often a confusing time for my clients because they interpret their wife's behavior as something going terribly wrong. Mood swings can actually mean things are going terribly right. What you have to be very careful not to do is have some kind of bad reaction to your wife's behavior. That would be failing her test. Men who can successfully handle this transition time are not far from reconciling. Reconnecting with your wife is only half of the work of reconciling. The other half is re-attracting her. You do this by working on yourself. What kind of a man would you need to be to attract your wife if she were meeting you for the first time? In general, women are attracted to men who are successful, social, capable, and interesting. These are biological triggers for women just as young, shapely women are biological triggers for men. You being the way that would help her to be naturally attracted to you will build your self-esteem, and that's very attractive too. Remember, attraction is triggered. It's not something we decide to do or not do. You need to love her without needing her. If the only way you can be happy is to have the love and attention of your wife, you will not be attractive to your wife. The correct steps for winning your wife back after separation are: 1. Formulate a good empathy message and tell it to her sincerely. 2. Stop any behaviors that cause resistance. 3. Focus on good, small interactions. 4. Use good separation boundaries. 5. Stay calm and consistent when she becomes ambivalent. And 6. Develop an attractive lifestyle. Creating a lifestyle that you enjoy will help you to love your wife without needing her. That is attractive and helps to turn on her loving feelings for you again. How long does reconciling take? I like to think of this question the same way I think about growing corn. If you want to grow corn, you need to prepare the soil, sow the seeds, have the right climate, and allow time for the corn to grow to harvest. Missing one of these steps will not get you corn. So it is with relationships. We have to do the groundwork and the small steps that lead to gradual relationship growth. For seriously damaged relationships, that is not going to take less than 6 months. Waiting for her to want to reconcile is like waiting for corn to grow that we didn't even sow. The right steps, the right order, and the right pace result in an enjoyable relationship development and reconciliation. It won't seem bad because you won't be waiting, you will be positively participating. If you need more help with the connection skills that help your wife feel more similar to you, my book, Connecting Through Yes, is a good place to start. If what you are doing right now is creating resistance and keeping you stuck, you need a better approach. Go to coachjackito.com/reconnect to learn the skills that help you reconnect without pushing your wife further away. Stop the overthinking, get off the separation diet, make a plan, and then you can get some sleep.